Maybe you've been thinking, how can I use my LinkedIn historical data to figure out what's working and what's not working? Keep on watching. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Shield Analytics to establish some benchmarks for the type of posts that you do. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start off by logging into my Shield Analytics account. Now, Shield Analytics is a paid service. It doesn't exist within LinkedIn. It's actually a separate app. You have to pay for that. It's an annual subscription. I think it's less than $100 per year, but it's worth it even if you only go in a few times a year. So the first thing that I would recommend is you log into your Shield account, make sure it's linked to your LinkedIn, and then in the left navigation, click on Posts. This is going to take you to a dashboard view of all the historical data that Shield Analytics has been tracking for your LinkedIn account. Now, certain data it's going to pull historical from your LinkedIn. Most of the data that you really want to focus on is at the point that you subscribe to Shield Analytics, it's going to start tracking it. So you might notice in this exported list that some of your posts have 0 impressions. And there's probably a point in time you're going to notice when you started paying for Shield Analytics, it's starting to track those impressions. So that's really what we're trying to get at here. So you're going to see inside here, it's been tracking my LinkedIn data in totality from November 2016 through January of 2025. Now, I've only been using Shield Analytics for the past few years. So when I do the export, I'm really going to focus in only on posts where impressions are being counted. So you're going to go ahead and click on the download button to export it. So click on export first and then click on download. And then we're going to give it just a second here and then I'm going to open the file and we'll keep on going. All right, so now that I've opened up, you're going to get inside this file and you're going to notice that sometimes it's hard to read the columns. So you might just want to look at just expanding the column that has the dates so you can see where the data is being pulled from. And just do a quick once over in here. What we're looking for, and I might just highlight the column so you make it easier for all of you. I'm looking for the post type. So really what I want to do is I want to get some benchmarks based on the types of posts that I've done. And I'm also looking at the date column inside here. And the final thing I'm looking at is the number of impressions. So I'm just going to highlight those three columns. And you're going to notice here that these are sorted in order of recency. So my most recent post is at the top. As I scroll down, what I'm paying attention to is the impressions column. So where does it stop reporting on that data and start showing zeros in there? I'm going to pause the video right now because it's going to take just a minute for that to tabulate, and I'll start it up again once I get to that point. So what I might do is just go to where it looks like the data is starting to be pulled in regularly, and maybe it's right over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some spacing in here to allow me to do the formula. So I'm going to hold over the two rows and I'm going to click on insert. It adds a little bit of space in between the two of those. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some formulas inside here. And I'm going in the column that has impressions. I'm going to type in equals average and then just select the data range. I know this is going to be from basically cell 2 to 3204. So let me just delete that out, make it a little bit easier. And I can see here my average for posts. Let me just round this number down here. My average number of posts in this time range is just under 3,000 impressions. Okay. Now, if you're a data person inside Excel, this is probably be pretty easy for you. What I like to do is a function inside Excel, create a column with each of the image types. The way to do that is you're going to click on Advanced, filter the list in place. We're going to copy it to another location. And what I'm looking at is this range of data in here, the type field. So I'm going to just grab that entire row of data here. So what I'm telling Excel to do is grab the data from C1 through C3304, and I want unique records only, and I'm going to put it below the data set here. So that's the cell it's going to go in. Once I hit on OK, then it's going to pull all of these in here as individual types, but it's removing all the duplicates that are in here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to call this column averages. And I'm going to go in here, and the formula that I'm using here is an average if formula. So what I'm telling is Excel is I want you to do an average of this column if it matches the title, which is in list C. So I'm basically saying you're going to do an average of cells F2 through F3304 if the title matches what I have in cell 3308. So when I click on enter here, you're going to see that this is now showing as my average for an image post. Let me just round this number back down, is 3,612. Now, I like to use constant formulas if I'm going to pull this down so that it's not changing the data range. So I just put a $sign before the letter C and a $sign after the letter C. In each of these cases, leave the middle as is because that's going to shift down. But we want to keep the data ranges that it's pulling from exact. So once I have that set up in there, I'm just going to pull that down. And now you can see here for the data range of basically 2019 through present, I can see here that these are the types of posts that I've done inside here. And if I wanted to, I could even now do a data sort and maybe sort by column F. And then I might add level column C inside here as well. Let me do that in reverse order. So I'm going to do largest to smallest is what I'm looking at. And I can tell inside here that my celebration posts are generating the highest level of impressions, at least for the data range that's inside here, followed by polls. That was not a surprise for me. I know that polls are still doing really well, followed by document posts, text, image posts, videos, etc. So this is now helping me to understand what are my averages on the platform. Now from here, if you wanted, you could certainly start to drill down into each of the data types. So if I go back up to the top and I click on filter, now we know that celebration, we're getting the highest level of engagement. So let me just click on my celebration so I can see inside here. Let's see if, now here's the link to the post inside here. So you can see this one generated 9,240 impressions, 19,000 impressions, and this one was 39,000 impressions. Little trick inside here, if you go inside the cell where it has the URL and you click on it, put a little space after, that will allow you to create a hyperlink. So now you can go to LinkedIn and actually see the post. In this case, my highest performing post was a celebration post where I announced a new role that I was joining the board for Detroit Together Digital. And that's the way we can start to look at that data. That's it. A little bit of complexity that's involved there. You do need to be a bit of a data geek and an Excel geek to have the time and the patience to go through and do the formulas, but I think it can be helpful for you to look at assessing your progress, creating some benchmarks. This is data that LinkedIn really doesn't give you, and I think that's one of the benefits of using a service like Shield is it can take a lot of data and help you to understand your patterns and your progress over time using LinkedIn. Hey, if you found this video helpful, do let me know in comments below. By the way, if you want to check out Shield Analytics, I do have an affiliate code below that you can use. I believe it gives you a discount and I get a little something as well for you signing up. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this helps you to get a bigger slice of that LinkedIn pie.